whilst discourse and envy in mighty kingdoms dwell. The beggar lives at ease within his humble cell, and a day he will go, and a day he will go. Hey friends, welcome back once again to Scoundrels Alley. And here we are. Once again, we find ourselves in Hogges Tavern. We seem to find ourselves in taverns a lot. Here in beautiful Fort Randolph in
Point
Pleasant, West Virginia, home of the Mothman. That's right. Can't go anywhere without the Mothman. Scoundrels Alley.
No, she's up the river.
She's in Gallipolis, right now.
Exactly.
Scoundrels Alley. Remember, to purpose the stories and realities of the lowest classes into the forefront of history in a lighthearted way. Hope you have enjoyed our little romp through history. Again, we urge you, before you do anything else, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video to all your friends, because trust me, they're sick of your stupid cat videos. You know, we talked a little bit last week about who we are and what we are last week, 2 weeks ago. The last time we met, it's just probably being in the tavern, it just seems to flow over every
When
day.
we were last together.
The interesting thing about it is, I thought, what can we talk about today? And I realized, instead of talking, just coming up with a random subject, we have been inundated with
Questions.
Got lots
Questions.
of.
We've been inundated. Our mailbag is completely full with 6 questions.
Burgeoning.
It's amazing how
Overflowing.
we had to sort through these questions. So actually, we didn't sort through these questions. I just grabbed a bunch. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to go straight to the mailbag because that seems to be what you guys are more interested in, instead of just looking at me. We're just going to go straight to the mailbag and see what we got. Unless anybody wants to say anything, interject anything, we're all happy.
No.
All right.
Let's
Very good.
answer
Well,
some
let's
questions.
just tell Paul that his question was pretty hard, and that'll be next session.
Yeah, Paul, stop asking the hard questions.
He's asking
Yeah,
the
that's
hard
right.
questions. You know, he has to read.
We have to
That's
think
right.
too
Shit.
hard.
All right, here we go. Bantering Bill. Bantering Bill, as proving the adage, there is no such thing as a stupid question, is actually a totally false representation. That was a stupid question. Frank.
Okay.
A question for Frank here about the resurrection seal, Badger. Wasn't grave robbing against the law, asking for a friend signed out of work but looking on the hill?
Well, looking on the hill, you need to keep looking, because if you're going to come working for old Badger, grave robbing is illegal. But Badger is not a grave robber. Badger is a resurrectionist. It's a noble profession. You see, the law didn't consider the body as belonging to anybody, and I'll explain this in a later video. So what Badger is doing is not exactly illegal, but if you rob graves, you'll get hung.
So you'd be called a resurrectionist.
I'm a resurrectionist.
Not a dirty, rotten, what did you call him the other day?
Yeah.
Never mind that.
Never mind.
That's not for film.
I guess
I
I
mean,
wasn't
I mean,
supposed to
no.
hear that, was I?
It is a noble
I had the window
profession.
shut, but they were screaming over there. All right.
But Badger, it does change. Eventually,
it is gonna
grave
change
robbing
in
and
the 19th
resurrection
century, yes.
comes together. But tell them, what do you have to leave behind to make you not a grave robber?
Well, anything that's on the body that doesn't belong to the body has to stay in the box.
And as long as it
It's
stays
as
there,
easy as that. You get caught with the stuff, they'll hang you.
you get
You
caught with the
remember
body,
that.
they just get mad.
You remember that. All right, who's next in the
Right.
mailbag?
How do you, where do you
on
go from
that
there?
note, let's. What the heck?
More than you wanted to know, wasn't it?
Carol,
Okay.
was there anything else for women to do other than prostitution? Signs, ceiling needs painted in Portsmouth.
Portsmouth, yes, as a matter of fact, that's a big misconception, is that every woman that was of the lower class and lived on the streets was a prostitute. And that's simply not true. The women, and Susan and I are in the process of working on a program right now where we're going to bring this out to show how many women in the lower classes were actually leaders of their own gang, or had jobs that where they ran other people, or they were independent entrepreneurs, if you were to call it, that had nothing to do with prostitution at all. Right, Susan?
That's right. They had many things they could do, often multiple jobs to keep them afloat, and they often worked well together to attain the same goal.
But there was prostitution.
There was prostitution. That's always going to be there. It's been there since the beginning of time. But that was a smaller select person group. Even it was women themselves that usually ran those prostitution rings. So you had women who ran other women into that area, but that was an area of its own. We have plenty of women in our gangs who were thieves or beggars or professional mumpers. There were a lot of things we could do without ever having to go down that road. It was kind of a last resort.
So you have a lot of things you can do, like stealing and robbing and blinding, and so Either way, you're pretty much of an undesirable. Well, the one question I've always wondered, because I hear this at reenactments, we hear this so often that washerwoman and seamstress were just covers for prostitution. Was that true?
I have not found that in the laundry. Of course, I've been studying the laundry for 14 years, and I don't see any connection between the two of those things at all. For Pete's sakes, ladies, you'd be too stinking tired if you do any laundry.
Family friendly.
Family friendly, Maggie.
That's right.
The laundry works from 4 o'clock in the morning till after dark at night. I mean, I just don't see that would have been a possibility.
Well, you're a seamstress. Do you run into it in modern world?
Not in modern world. The character that I play in the canting group, Penelope, which is based on another character in history, she came as a seamstress thinking that she could work for some of the richer ladies in town, which she did, but it just didn't make enough money for her. So she went into the canting crew and became a thief, basically. So rather than prostitution, she chose thievery to add to her seamstress work.
So a seamstress is not just a cover for...
No, it is not.
That makes sense to me.
And you two were married in a church, in your character.
In our character,
We're
we
married
Correct.
in a church, and that'll be a subject of a later.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll
Right,
yeah.
where Badger and Maggie are married, but not in a church. It was more of just an understanding. So none of us are involved in that area. So yes, the question is no, you didn't have to be, if you're a woman, you did not have to be a prostitute. It did not necessarily mean that.
Before we jump back in the mailbag, I think we all want to stress the fact that what we're telling you is what we can actually lay our hands on. This is not stuff that we decided ourselves or we're hearing from some. We're looking at things that we've been...
Primary source.
Primary source.
And we forced ourselves into saying this. And I know there's some people who have always said, can I come and join the crew? We would love to have more people join the Scoundrels crew. Our standards are a little high because we want people to come in having researched it and being able to bring something to the table and say, here's my research, here's what I can prove. And if you can't prove it, be honest. Either say, I can't prove this, I think this, I suppose this, here's why, I believe that to be so, which is a lot of what I'm having to do in mine. But we want you to think, and we want you to challenge us as well. If you don't agree with us, ask us.
Absolutely.
Trust me, there's nothing I like better to do than to pull out my list of books. All right, anyway, going on.
That's right. Let's
back
get
in
some
that
more
mailbag.
questions.
We're getting too serious.
I know, all right. Go ahead.
That's right. Where's all the fun?
Oh, looks like one for the old scholarly scoundrel himself.
Oh boy.
The scholarly scoundrel. Oh, there we go.
Confused at Oxford asks, what is a scoundrel? Is it the same as a rogue? All right. Actually, I think I covered this a bit in the last video. Their language changes. I love language. I'll be doing a session, I think, with the parson where we're going to talk about language and where the language comes from, how it changes over the years, what this word means, what that word means. In short, a rogue is a thief. These three are rogues. I am not. They have different names. Some of them have honest jobs. Some of them have dishonest jobs. Some of them have both honest and dishonest jobs.
That's right.
I am a scoundrel, what's known as a hedge bird. I will always be known as that for the 500 years that we can look at the history of the conmen. Scoundrels, by and large, were nice people on one hand, but on the other hand, you just can't trust them. Where a rogue, you look at them and you know, that's a rogue. They're going to steal from me if they get the chance. Where a scoundrel, I'm going to steal from you, but I'm going to do it in such a way you're going to want to give me the money.
And enjoy doing it.
And enjoy doing it.
And come back for more.
And come back for more. There's a lot I can talk about this. I don't want to take up a lot of time here. I just want to tease you with a little bit of information on that. But the language does change. It's a fascinating look at the language, the canting crew. We'll talk about the canting language as well. But in short, confused in Oxford, I would suggest The Ohio State University for a better education. I'm sorry, Ted, the U of M is out. So we'll just cover that on later. All right, so I have one more question. All right. I wonder who it could be for. I just all right. Oh, okay. Looks like Tidy in Toledo asked Susan, I understand Maggie wearing the P and the older worn clothing, but why does Christopher always have a yellow ribbon on his buttonhole? Can't he dress himself without help? Oh, come on.
Well, we'll address that first question. Can't he dress himself without help? No. Usually can't find his shoes or his neck stock. Has no idea where the jacket is. But anyway, that's for another time.
Why I have a wife.
That's right. The yellow ribbon in his buttonhole was used for a game that we will offer to you at events that we are hired in to do. It is a family-friendly scavenger type game that we use to get the kids and the parents and anyone else involved. It is basically a find the canting crew. That would be us. We do put up some pictures and some posters so they know who they're looking for. And we will all be wearing a yellow ribbon somewhere on our costume, somewhere that it can be seen so that you'll know we are who you're looking for. As a group or each child individually must then find each scoundrel, do a small job for us, usually something that's involved in our character type job. And
Yeah,
then
a little digging.
a little digging around, that's right. Running of some thievery, things like that.
Now, we're not teaching them to do this.
No,
though,
we're
are
not
we?
teaching
Oh,
them.
okay,
No,
all
no,
right, all
we're
right.
not teaching them. That's up to the parents to teach them.
Oh.
So once they've completed the tasks, they will get a trading card from each of us. And once they have all their trading cards, they must then go find the great tawny prince who will reward them for finishing the game.
Absolutely.
And then at that point in time, if they'd like to take the oath, they may join Scoundrels Alley.
Well, Penelope, who is the great Tawny Prince?
That is something that we do not divulge ever.
Never?
Never.
Oh.
No.
But we know who it is.
Maybe.
The upright men know.
Oh, the upright men. They must be one of those other scoundrels we'll talk about later.
Yes.
They are.
So, I guess the question I have is, when did we last do this game?
We last did this game at a lovely site called Locust Grove. If you were there and you enjoyed the game, please let us know.
Now, my question is, that was a few months back.
Yes?
Why hasn't my costumer taken that yellow ribbon off of my jacket yet?
Well, because you're supposed to be responsible for your own clothing, and I'm still waiting.
And you haven't worn it since then.
Well, and we have
Fortunate
high
having-
hopes that we're going to get to do the game again, so we're all wearing our yellow ribbon.
That's
All right.
right.
Well, folks, I think that's about all we have in the mailbag today. Remember, if you have any questions, Eric at Fairwinds,
Maggie at parsonjohn.org.
fairwinds.com/Scoundrels Alley. Like, share, subscribe, drop
Love
us a
us.
line, drop us a line, drop us a line.
And don't forget, if you want to be a scoundrel, you've got to follow us to the gutter.
Have a good day, guys. Keep thinking.
Contented when death through nature's nigh, in pleasure thus we live.